microphone.
We can just talk and they'll pick us up on these.
Oh, okay. So good evening, everyone. We are calling to the Personnel Committee meeting, February 18, 2020. So the first order is to, we have quorum, call to order of the meeting. And then the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. So I need a motion to approve the minutes from November 14, 2019 Personnel Committee meeting.
I can move it.
Second.
Any discussion, question?
Mm-mm.
All those
Okay.
in favor say aye.
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 Next in our agenda is the public appearances for no agenda item. It seems that we have one person.
No.
No.
Okay. Peter Gallery.
Okay. Then is the agenda review. Any comments regarding the agenda?
No.
No? Okay.
Move along.
Next item on the agenda is the 3 updates to the employee handbook. Updating break time for nursing mothers. Then we have public work uniform allowance and the evidence of insurance policy in the handbook. So, okay, so.
Yeah, so just to get started, so one of the policies we're looking to update is the break time for nursing mothers. So as you might recall, we recently updated this policy already, but we've had a couple of returning staff that are in the police department, and the question came up, what if they're in the middle of a call or some type of emergency, and it's also at their scheduled lactation time. So we wanted to make sure that we got some legal guidance on what to do in that situation. So basically, they should not have their break time interrupted unless there's an emergency or exigent circumstance. So it shouldn't come up a whole lot, but we just want to make sure we had some type of clause in the policy about that. We also added that the fire station number 2 is another location for nursing mothers. So that is the break time for nursing mothers policy update.
So, they can, I have a question because we have the same thing in our company, and so, and we have a special room. There is a fridge and and all that. So it doesn't matter how many times they can go, isn't it? You're
No.
not gonna put a. Okay.
Yeah, just if they have reasonable
Well,
amount
yeah,
of breaks,
yeah, yeah.
so we don't put a number on that.
Okay.
And we do have a room here over by the community center. It has a sink and it has a fridge, has a
Okay.
chair. It's a private locked space, and you can actually put on the
Yeah.
outside of the door that it's in use. So
Yeah, okay.
it is a designated room here.
They have that at the library also.
Yep, they have one at the library as well.
Okay, seems like a good idea.
The next update is just based on the Public Works maintenance worker uniform. Currently, right now, if a Public Works maintenance worker needs new boots, and it's already been 1 year, they've already got their new boots for the year.
Yeah.
Maybe 11 months later, there's a hole in their boots and they need another pair. It does become a safety issue if we're really saying, nope, you have to wait until January. So if it's in the budget and if the Public Works Director approves it, then we'd like for them to be able to get those replacement of the boots or any other of the protective gear that is assigned to them. Again, making sure it's within the budget.
So there is a budget in Public Works Department for uniform, you
Yes,
assuming? Okay.
absolutely. Yep.
And do people routinely replace them almost whether they need it or not? Or do they choose not to if
No,
If it's
not
not
at
really
all. So
needed.
we do have some employees that go through them pretty quickly. They're on their feet all day, every day. We have some employees that actually have a few years before they replace it. So everybody's a little different. I think it's based on the boot, based on the user. But I had recently talked with Mark and Joran, who are in the Public Works departments, and they had said the same thing.
Okay.
And then the next change is currently any employee that drives a personal vehicle on work time, we need to be collecting vehicle insurance on. We had consulted with our cities and villages mutual insurance just to inquire about our coverage limits, and they actually said that our coverage limits needed to be increased. Basically that there's some liability for the city if there was a severe vehicle accident and they did not have the coverage listed. So we're looking to increase the coverage up to $250,000 per person and up to $500,000 per accident for bodily injury. Basically, we ask for this copy of vehicle insurance once a year, and then we just follow up with the employees every year. And again, you only need to provide it if you're driving a personal vehicle. on company time. So it doesn't account somebody commuting to and back from work. You actually have to be using your vehicle. So you think of our assessors, our building inspectors, those types of positions.
And what about the volunteers?
Volunteers, if they're driving a personal vehicle during the time that they're volunteering, we do require that. That was also in our volunteer policy that was approved a few months ago.
That's in the RSVP policy?
I don't know about the RSVP. So the city recently passed a volunteer and unpaid intern policy a couple personnel committee ago. In there, we actually require the copies of vehicle insurance if they're driving their vehicle during work time. Excuse me.
And the question that I wrote down, is the insurance on their own vehicle, or is it just comprehensive that covers other people and other vehicles?
That's a good question. I think it would have to be on the vehicle that they're driving. So if it's their own personal vehicle, and it should have coverage for them. So I think that's what you're getting at.
Well, so the state mandated insurance only mandates that you insure against harm to others.
Or liability covered.
Okay, liability, okay,
No, this would be additional.
okay. So it has to be on the vehicle they are driving?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So we didn't realize we were a little under on our policy, so it was good that we had Civic review the policy and just make sure that there weren't any holes there.
Inflation goes up.
Yeah, so those are the three
Okay.
employee handbook policies that we're making recommendations for.
Any other question? For her? No? No? Okay, so we don't need to vote here, isn't it?
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
Yep,
so-
any policy changes.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the 3 update to the employee handbook.
I'll move to approve the 3 updates.
I'll second it then.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries. So, the other item in the agenda now is elected official pay discussion. So that one is human resources pull market data and have put together some compensation option to discuss for elected official. Mayor and alderperson pay has not increased since May 1997. Wow. And the municipal judge pay has remained unchanged since May 2009. Okay, in order to attract and retain candidates for this position, we need to be competitive with other elected officials in the area. Okay, so, okay,
Yeah, so in the packet was a spreadsheet.
yeah.
On the spreadsheet, I list the current salary for mayor, alderperson, council president, and judge. In addition, I looked at our comparable communities. So the attachment looks something like this. If I look at comparable communities, I'm looking at the ones that we compare ourselves to when we're in negotiations for police and fire. So that's your Sun Prairie, your Middleton, Verona. Basically what I did is I took their current pay that they're paying their mayor, alderperson, and municipal judge, and I took the average, the overall average of those 3. So if you look down here at this bright blue box here, you can see the average for mayor of those 3 communities is $14,594. So that's where the recommendation, so not recommendation, these are options. So these are just options to discuss. There's option number 1, which basically moves the mayor from $10,000 to $15,000 based on
This one.
the average of the comparable communities. Then if you look at alderperson, you can see that the average of the 3 communities is 5,873. That's where I get the 6,000 here for alderperson. The council president is always 10% higher than the alderperson. And then the municipal judge, if you look over here, you can see the average is 22,177. So that is where the average is coming in there. So the total cost to the city would be about $16,159. Included in there is a cell phone for the mayor. So currently the mayor uses his own personal cell phone. This would be an option that we have a cell phone for whomever is elected mayor. It's a one-time $500 cost and then monthly $40. So that $500 is just at first, but basically it would become property of the city, the phone number, and then whenever there's a new mayor elected, then the mayor gets that cell phone. Right now using a personal cell phone, if there was an open records request, that person would have to, the mayor would have to turn over his cell phone. So it's just an additional option to the salary increase. So option number 2 looks at the current annual salary and divides it by the total population. So if you look at the second page of that spreadsheet, you're going to see, basically, you're going to see the 3 comparable communities, and you're going to see that the current, for example, Sun Prairie pays $21,425. If you take that divided by the total population, each resident is paying about 65 cents to have a mayor. The average is about 71 cents. You can see Fitchburg is very low when it comes to looking at the pay in this way. So if we were going to get up to the average of 71 cents, that would bump the mayor's pay up to $20,500, the alderperson's pay up to $9,000, and the municipal judge up to $23,500. So it's just another way to look at it to make sure that our pay is a little bit more in line. The total cost to the city for that one is about $30,476, and that's an annual cost. So those are the 2 things that I looked at. Yes.
No, continue. I have plenty of questions.
Yeah, those are just the 2 things that we looked at. You might also have a question about, I found some information about how many meetings that everybody attends. So right now, we create a worksheet for every single alderperson that calculates how many meetings you attend, the prep time, which is 2 times the amount of meetings that you attend, just to try to get an annual average. So it looks like, we have anywhere between 270 hours to 558 hours annually that each alderperson is putting in. If you look just at council meetings and prep time, it doesn't count ribbon cuttings and other of those types of meetings.
It counts meetings to which you are a member.
Right.
Meeting with your constituency on weekends or after work.
Right, that's not in there.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have questions about?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions because first of all, I was trying to figure out how you come up with those numbers. So now we have an idea from where the numbers are coming. In the second page, you have option 4 and option 4. I don't know. That one is this number are
Yeah. So
that one. What are those options? Because I don't see option.
Yeah, that is to option 2.
Ah,
sorry. So
this is part of option
that
2.
should say 2. My
Okay,
apologies.
because I say, where I am
Sorry for the
missing. Okay.
confusion. I was just trying to show you where the numbers were coming from.
Okay. When you say comparable community, Verona has only 10,000. I don't think that we can compare to Verona because Verona has 10,000. People living in Verona, and we have almost 30,000. So I don't think that Verona could be a comparable city. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you also take a look at how many in the other community, how many committee or commission the elder person participate. I don't know. Because what I have seen this is my 5th year in the council. I can see that we can added a couple of commission in the last 5 years that we didn't have when I. So I know that every 1 or 2 years we add another commission. So, and some of that are in like at least an average like 3 minimum. Minimum 3 and up. So I don't know. It could be another. Compared to the other one, how many how many committees and commission the other person participate. It could be another factor to consider to compare. The other thing, when you say annual cost to the city, when you say $16,000 per year, so you're calculating how much is going to be the increase per
Plus
position by FICA. Okay.
Yep.
But it's an increase, it's not the total.
Yeah,
No,
this is an
it's
increase. Then you
it's
need
the
to do the
increase,
math. Yeah.
right.
The only thing that I see in option 1 is that the mayor position increase almost 50% and the alders increase only 20%. I would like to see that if we are gonna add, the increase should be comparable.
Okay.
You know, I don't know, this is my personal opinion. I don't know how I feel. You know, I know the mayor put more hours than a typical alder, but also we have a weak system where we have a administrator and you know, so
And of the comparables that we're using, we're the only one that has an administrator, correct?
All of them have administrators.
the other
Oh,
ones
do
that
they?
yeah, because this is what they
Okay.
have a minimum
Oh,
salary.
is it the other way around? Madison and Stoughton do not?
No, they have.
Mayor has
They
a.
don't.
They don't. No. So you know, so that one is my you know, I know that I don't know. I know you say here you propose implementation is April 2021. So, you know, so that one is we do this. You know, we need to have a budget amendment, or had to be incorporated in the budget. Is the council approve it during the? Do you know how it works, the logistics behind the scene?
Yeah, I don't know specifically how that would work logistically.
Oh, my leg's asleep here. Yeah, if, I get, the question was if you were to make a recommendation to council and council proceeded with one of these alternatives, it would need to be included in the budget. Yeah, it would be in the budget just as any other
Yeah.
increase
in the
would
admin
be.
department. Yeah.
Yeah, and whether it's proposed by the mayor or an alder, it would be voted on just like the rest of the budget.
Okay.
But laws say that you cannot vote on an increase that will occur during the time you are in office,
Right.
Oh.
which
so-
is going to put a kink in things.
Yeah.
Yep. So it would literally have to be, well, it would be during your existing term.
But there are
But
people that they are, you know,
You've
like
got two-year
year
terms
term.
Right.
alternating.
Right.
Yep. So any alder that would be in the office, sitting in the office in April of 2021,
Which would be the
Which would be-
incoming now.
Yeah.
which would be unopposed, I mean, not unopposed, not up for election, would not be able to vote.
Oh.
So you'd only have 4 alders voting because the mayor, so it'd be up to the 4 alders that weren't up for election to vote on this.
And they would, is it a majority of the entire council? Or is it a majority of the voting members?
It would be a majority of the voting members in that situation.
And this is legal?
So you would need 3 of 4.
Because
Yeah, state statute prohibits you voting on a budget in which you're compensated.
yeah, I understand that, but then my question is, can we do this? Can we do only 4 alder vote for this?
That's the only way you can do it.
And the mayor is gonna be.
The mayor can't vote because he's sitting.
Oh yeah, he's sitting.
The only way you could have the entire body vote would be if there was a limitation that it would only impact the one set of alders the first time, and then the next year it would impact the.
No, I believe the best way to do it would be to, and Sarah and I didn't discuss this, but the best way to do it would be to vote on it this budget year and not have it go into effect until April 2022. Then nobody would be sitting. You would all be up for election at least once. So you could vote on it this budget year and then, or any time, and it would go into effect April of 2022.
What would Misty say about that?
Well, we would just, I mean, it wouldn't impact this upcoming year's budget, but at least you would know what direction, she would
We
know.
usually don't vote on a budget 2 years from now.
No, you would do it just as a body, not as a budget amendment, you would do that prior to.
Okay.
just through resolution.
Okay, so it would not be part of the budget itself?
Correct.
Okay.
I just have a question about
Yeah.
where you calculated how many cents everybody pays.
Yes,
Are you talking about residential?
Yes.
Just-
Well, I've taken the total population and divided it just by the
Okay.
annual stipend that the mayor and older persons receive.
Okay, so is that literally just 71 cents per household or 71 cents per
Per person.
100,000?
The average is 71 cents
Resident.
per resident.
Each resident would pay 71 cents
Right.
total?
Yep.
Even babies.
So every yes. So per population. So every single head. Every resident.
Just 71 cents?
Yeah.
And that's using the current estimate?
That's using the what is currently getting Sun Prairie, Middleton, Verona are paying for a mayor and alder person. So Fitchburg residents are only paying 34 cents, whereas the overall average is 71 cents. So if we want to get you up to
The
that overall
population
average.
numbers that you
Yes.
used was consistent up and down, though?
Yes.
For the year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But we don't calculate taxes that way, though. We calculate taxes based on assessments.
Right.
Assessments, which includes residents
Mhm.
and
Mm-hmm.
businesses.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
So
But
Yeah.
this is like I think it's like
it's just a way to compare.
to compare to see how much it would cost. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I think it's a good number to compare because it tell you that
Mm-hmm.
you know per head people understand this concept easily than if you
Right.
bring the other one. You know, it's like so
Mhm.
you in your family you are 4,
Mm-hmm.
multiply that it's
Gotcha.
almost you know
$2 and
$2. You know what I mean? So.
Right.
But, you know, and I think people I think it's easy to understand and it's not a big number that people say, you know what I mean, like, even though the adjustment is gonna be high because we haven't been adjusted our salary for many, many years, but if you put it at this level like she did, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean like, wow, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Could I add something just that was said earlier? I noted that you didn't think Verona would be a comparable. As Sarah noted, the reason we use Verona as a comparable because we used it with our bargaining unit. We also, it's a regional community that's our neighbor in terms of cost of living. Their assessed valuation is equal to ours, even though they're much smaller. They're both Fitchburg, all three, Fitchburg, Sun Prairie, and Verona are all 3 of the top 10 fastest growing cities in the state. So there are a lot of comparisons, even though the population is different. So,
And Verona's per head is the highest
Yeah.
at 75 cents.
Right.
they're also the lowest population.
Right.
So it's not a perfect scenario.
Mm-hmm. As we go forward, can we start out with option 1, but do a step thing that would take us over a number of years up to option 2, and then include cost of living increases as
Yeah,
part of
this
that?
is the other thing that I have here. So I have my writing phases. You know how we can
Right.
move in phases to
Mm-hmm.
you know because I know that even we're going for 5,000 to 6,000 is $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But it going to 5 to 9,000, yeah, it's more attractive. I think it's more comparable.
But that's a big bite.
But it's a
Yeah,
big
it
bite.
is.
So how we can? This is what I say because I have another column that I create is how we can go like from 1 to 2, but to have another one in the
So
middle.
can
You know what I mean?
we do it over 4 or 5 years?
And it's gonna be better also for our budget too. You know what I mean? We cannot put too much pressure one year in the budget, and we can do it in phases. Could be another option, and it could be better for people to swallow this big jump. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I think that we need to do this adjustment because how many years? 20,
1997.
23 years.
Way too long.
So we have to do it, because we have to do it, for the people that are gonna come in the future,
Mm-hmm.
and also we want to attract more people to run for office. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we want people to know that their time and their effort is valued. And that's how this society assigns values, is by hanging a price tag on things.
So, I don't have any problem with the two option, but I will see that we need to do some phase out. You know what I mean? To have another one in the middle to go.
Absolutely. We can look at phasing
You know what I mean?
it in. Absolutely.
So, and then the other thing is how we can do this PR to the rest of the community. You know what I mean? Because that one is going to be critical, because people say, oh, they want to increase their salary, blah, blah, blah. But people, they don't know what we do sometimes.
They have no idea how much we
And
do.
they think that we come once a week, once a month to our council meeting, and that's it. And they don't understand that sometimes, that we have to read packages that are 500 pages. You know what I mean?
But they also know that they don't get a 20% raise every year,
Yeah.
or a 50% raise.
I know, but this is
So-
something that we need to work for future. We shouldn't wait 20 more years. We need to have a system that we need to adjust this wage per inflation every year at least. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, we have a meeting on the calendar for March 19th. Everyone accepted except you. I don't know if you're
March
available.
19th?
Yeah,
Where?
for our next personnel. I guess I had sent out a reoccurring, and I found it on my calendar.
If you
So
send it to the city
no,
email, I have.
I sent it to both your emails.
Oh,
But if
okay.
you want, I could bring
Yeah.
more information about how we could
Yeah.
potentially phase it in and the dates and all of that for our March meeting.
And we can get some more information from Valerie in regards to
The
the
form.
process for how you would vote on this.
Because if we can allow to do the 4, it's fine. We need to move forward. We shouldn't wait another 2 years to do this. You know what I mean? My question is, can we do that?
Yeah,
Because we are in
don't-
a very tricky situation right now. You know what I mean?
Well, but
Um,
if you want everybody to be able to vote, then it looks like April of 2022 would take care of that. I mean, it's a little farther down the road, but then at least every alder would get to vote.
Yeah, I know, but.
But it's still 3 years of shortchanging
Yeah.
people that are working for the city.
We'll see what kind of options we
Yeah.
can come up with and bring some more information to the March 19th
Yeah, so
meeting.
I don't know, because I don't see that we should wait more, we need to work, I think we need to have a plan for this year to apply for next year, and, so I don't know,
Okay, that sounds good.
if they say that the statute says it's okay for 4 people to vote, well,
That's what we need to clarify. We know that the 4 that are sitting can't vote.
have you talked to other, have you talked to the other municipality that it had something similar to us and they have done this?
Actually, I was in Monona when they increased
Oh,
theirs. What they
uh.
did was they vote, and it was effective. They have the same rotating
Oh.
election structure that we have now,
Mm-hmm.
and they just voted for for 2 years out.
Oh, okay.
But was the last increase anywhere near as far back? Was the disparity as great as what it is here?
Very similar. It was late 90s, and then I believe they finally updated it in like 14, 15,
Wow.
right before I came here.
Oh, okay.
But they did it 2 years out.
Yeah.
So everyone could vote.
Yeah, you have to do it 2 years out.
Right.
Yeah, even the state legislature, when they vote on salary increases, it can't impact.
Yeah, no.
It's the next
No, I
election.
know, it makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay. Okay, so thank you for putting this together. And
Absolutely. If you think of anything else you'd like me to look into, just email me and let me know. I'll be more than happy to have that
Yeah.
available.
did you have this stuff that Middleton did? Have you talked to the people in Middleton?
What is that from? From City Madison?
No, the people of Middleton went through this like 2 years ago, and they shared that with me because I was talking to one of the, I think the economic development director or someone else, and she shared with me. They say, don't, you need to reinvent the wheel.
Sure.
I can,
Thank you.
and this is a,
They
I
had
can
an
send it to
intern
you.
do that. Yeah.
Huh?
They had an
nice.
intern do that.
Yeah.
I remember
Oh,
participating.
I did receive this.
Yeah?
Misty
Okay.
forwarded this over to me.
Yeah, so and I said, maybe,
think
and I
I
forward to
this
you
is
guys
fine.
this one like last
Mhm.
year
Yeah,
or,
I remember seeing it at some
Yeah.
point.
so,
Yep. Thank you.
okay, you have that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because when we introduce to the ALDER the decision that, our recommendation to the council, we need to prepare like a PowerPoint and something
Absolutely.
like that, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
And I do like that, and I know in a note to you, I brought up the possibility of looking at more of a per diem system.
Mm-hmm.
When we talked about it last, I had pointed out that Carol was doing an outrageous amount of work in all the committees that she was working on, and that I felt as though she in particular deserved a little bit more than other council members that kind of did the minimum.
Okay. Do you want me to look into something? So all of the communities I talk to, they give an annual stipend, and that is, they don't do the per diem, but I think Dane County does the per diem.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind if there's another list that might include a per diem structure.
Okay. Alrighty.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
so next is our agenda is the social media use policy.
Yeah, so we had a number of staff work on a team for a very long time to put the social media use policy together. We're going to buy legal to make sure that it was going to be okay for use. Basically, there's certain employees in the city that are able to manage the social media accounts for the city of Fitchburg. It's like your Facebook, your LinkedIn, Twitter, all of the different accounts that police and fire might have. So there was a great team that worked on it. Basically, this is a draft policy that they'd like to implement, and part of it is a agreement that we're going to have them sign. It's called a social media user agreement form. Basically, we want to make sure that whomever is going to be the moderator of that social media account, that they follow the rules, that they now we're going to be able to respond back to comments where we never used to be able to. So just making sure not to make sure you regulate and know what to respond back to, what to say, and make sure that we do a really great job with our social media. So this policy is what we're hoping that we can put forth and finalize, and we just want to make sure that the personnel committee was aware of this new policy.
Okay. So we don't need to vote?
Yeah, not on this one.
Okay.
This one's a little different.
Okay.
But we want to make sure that you were aware that this exists and is out there.
Okay, and I had two questions on that.
Yeah, of course.
One was, how are casual interactions by employees handled?
Casual.
There are some employees that are on various websites that answer questions now and again that come up.
Sure. That's still okay as long as they're doing so in a respectful way. So if an employee is going to respond back to someone and then start putting down the city or saying things that are untruthful, those are things that the moderator of that account will be able. Well, they might not see it if it's on their own personal account, but it's like any employee that starts to post something that's negative about maybe another employee or about the employer. If another employee sees it or someone else reports it, we do look into it and we do talk to the employee. So it is part of our policy that employees are respectful and are honest but still have that freedom of speech at the same time. But if it's abusive in any way or threatening or discriminatory, we definitely talk about it and we make sure that they know it. They can't do that.
But this is not saying that they cannot do that any longer.
No.
Okay.
So this policy is really just for the moderators of the social media accounts, making sure that they understand what their role and responsibility is. Our IT policy talks a little bit about social media and what employees can do on social media. So that's something totally different.
But what about our case? Because we are still employee of the city, but we have our own political social media and we can write whatever we want there.
We're a
So-
whole different kettle of fish.
So my question is, we are not covered under that umbrella.
No.
Okay.
Only employees.
Maybe
so.
you should put something that is say employee but no elected official, because we are
Yeah.
employees.
Yeah, we could certainly.
You know
we
what I
could
mean?
add-
Because we are technical employee of the city. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And if you follow and there is someone interpret that and I say, yeah, you're an employee. You know what I mean?
Mhm. We get a W-2.
So this is what I,
We
you know what I
have
mean?
to file our
It's
taxes.
to be, you know, I don't know.
Okay. I will definitely share that feedback with them.
Yeah, check with them because we are technically employees or,
Okay.
you know, so.
And the other one, I think, is answered both in the paperwork and just now, was city responses to posts on sites that are not city sites.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We still. I mean, sometimes other employees will see it, and they're, maybe the person's being abusive or is bullying. So we always address that. It's very important, but we have to know about it. So if nobody reports it and we don't see it, unfortunately.
Well, I've never seen anything
No.
like that. What I see is clarifying trash pickup
Oh,
and
good,
things like
good.
that. So
Good.
every now and again, you'll see something where somebody was talking about some crime, something, and someone will pop in and say something that clarifies misstatements or whatever.
Okay. Yep.
So-
That's fine. Absolutely. That's okay. So yeah, this is our new policy, proposed social media use policy.
Oh, the other note that I put in here on page 4,
Yeah.
if your posts violate any of the below rules, it can be deleted, but will be preserved.
Okay. I'll
Because you
share
can't
that,
just
too.
delete it if you just said above that it's a legal
Public
record.
records, okay. Thank you.
This is going directly back to when I was managing online forums for the Financial Times.
Oh.
And we did a lot of deleting,
Yes.
but we preserved all of that.
Okay. I will be sure to share that.
Okay, any other comment? Okay, so next, thank you. So the next is a report from the department, so we're gonna have an update.
Yeah,
Sarah?
so boy, we are retaining. We're not losing employees. It's very exciting. We've had only a few new hires since November, so 2 police officers and an IT intern. That's pretty incredible. Our current recruitments that we have in progress, we have some internships. We've got our fire science interns. We just hired a new police records clerk. We extended an offer. We extended offers to 2 telecommunicators. So we'll be having those folks joining us. So really the only turnover we've had since November was a police records clerk who actually left to do similar work for another municipality. And then a police telecommunicator that actually left to go to the police academy to be a police officer. So 2 kind of hard ways to not lose people if they're, looking to develop and or work closer to home. But, it's really exciting to see people sticking around. A lot of things that we've been working on. We just implemented a new system in NeoGov, which is our online application system that allows us to check references via email instead of having to call and play phone tag with employers and supervisors. So that's going to really help streamline the process. We updated all of our workers' comp forms, so our safety team keeps meeting and we're doing some pretty cool things. One of the things was a big workers' comp revamp on all of our forms, so we just did that. We're using our new HR intranet, our new online onboarding program, so when we have a new hire, we can send them information ahead of time. They can actually fill out some of the forms before they even get started. We had to stop using one of our HRIS systems that we've been using for the last 15 years. It stored all of our employee information, but it was no longer supported by a server or by IT on one of their old servers. So we had to extract all of that data, and that was a time-consuming process, but we've been able to shut that program down. Still reviewing job postings through an equity lens, looking at other ways that we can expand outreach. We attended Madison College Internship Fair last week. We're or February 6th. We're gonna be at the Dane County Job Center next week, and we're gonna have some on-site interviews. So we're gonna actually bring some of our managers and hope to hire people. We attended Future Quest in fall. We have an Urban League Teen Summer Job Fair in March. So this is our busy time with all our seasonal hiring. So we're just hitting up as many job fairs as we can. We had a really great employee luncheon in December that highlighted all of our staff. New this year, we have passed out certificates of appreciation, which we had never done
Yeah.
before, so they at least had something
Yeah.
to walk away with. And we unveiled the City Think Hall Space Lounge, which I showed Dorothy and Ann. I want to show you, but
okay.
it's that place where people can go for a break or
Okay.
during their lunch, and it's been being used, so it's very exciting. And we continue to just recognize staff on our Facebook page, and just introducing our staff to each other, really. Future projects, something I should have added on here, but we're working on a chaplaincy program.
Mhm.
That policy will be presented to you in March. Basically, you know, how we're going to go about this. It's an unpaid volunteer position, but we just want to make sure that we have some good protocol on what it means to be a chaplain and how to become one here. Also, the employee resource group policy will be here to you in March as well. We had a lot of interest late last year, so we would like to put that together and just see what types of employee resource group ideas that employees come up with, rather than us telling them we want a group that is targeted for this. You know, let's let the employees decide what they want to do. And then we're going to be sending out an employee engagement survey just on HR. So how do people feel HR is performing? Are you happy with us? Are there things we can do better? How do you feel in your position? So we want to ask a bunch of questions and see what we can do better from an HR standpoint. Yeah, so a lot of little things we're working on. Just finished the annual report if you had a chance to look at that. That'll be coming to you, to the council members. So it's been busy.
The other thing I want to mention is, you know, in May is going to be the Diversity Summit.
Oh.
I am part of the MARREP. I am the executive board. MARREP is working with the Urban League to, you know, to organizing the Diversity Summit. Is going to be May 5th, and I would like to see more people from Fitchburg going to that.
Where is it?
It's in the Monona Terrace. Have you been there before with the City of Madison?
I'm sure I have. Is it the YWCA?
No,
Summit?
it's
Okay.
the Urban League
Oh, is it
and
really?
MARREP organize the Diversity Summit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of costly, but the idea is that you know, they have good. They bring national speaker. It's the Diversity Summit, and it's with a focus in economic development.
Oh, okay.
So and they bring good speaker, and there are great sessions, you know, and there's gonna be a session about public employees too, and it's gonna be great if we, you know, the city can participate and send some people there. So
Okay. Do you know if anyone from the city signed up yet?
last year, Joyce and Mike,
Okay.
they have been going to that.
Okay.
Because I have been going to that for many years, and I have, but I think it will be great for you or for other managers,
Sure.
from some of the chief or some of the police officers to attend to.
Okay.
But I think it's a good training about, you know, how to be more, you know, because the city had to. I would like to see an initiative here to talk about how to become a more inclusive city. You know, some, you know.
So yeah, I just attended a Step It Up Equity
You went
bias
there?
training
Okay.
last week, and I
Okay.
am going to the microaggressions in a couple weeks. But
Oh,
it's only
okay.
$30 to go,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
talked to them afterwards to see how much it would. They're a really great group of staff that come in, and they can come into your organization
Yeah,
and
they
actually
do
meet
that.
with your leadership team. So I was trying to get quotes on how much that would be, because I think that would be great
Yeah.
training for
Yeah.
our department
Yeah.
heads, and actually all our staff.
All the stuff.
Because they really get you thinking about bias and things in a different way.
And
They're
because we
very-
are working with interacting with our residents. We have residents here,
Yeah.
different type, you know, how to interact with different residents from different cultures that they also live in the city, and you know what I mean. And
Right.
and it's important to be aware of that. You know what I mean, and be more sensitive.
Yeah, we did a all staff diversity training by CIVMIC in
Yeah.
fall of last
Yeah,
year, but
okay.
that's the last time we did a all staff
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of training
Okay.
on that subject. But I can look into that and
Yeah.
add that as an initiative
Yeah.
to really focus on.
So, semi-related to that, I just had an interaction with Alex G. last night about, they do fairly regular Black History training.
Oh.
And kind of helps you get to know, where populations are coming from, to be able to better understand where things are at now.
And he live in Fitchburg.
Yeah, I've met Alex. He was on one of our panels for,
okay.
I think, our command staff when we had opening.
Okay.
So I'd
Okay.
love the city to look
Yeah.
into some of the work they're doing and end up choosing to participate.
Okay.
I just had this page open. Is that something that you're having to deal with employees?
Oh, the new federal forms?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So there's an updated federal forms for all new employees, and even employees that are gonna change their withholding, they have to fill out the brand new federal, which requires you need to basically tell them everything, what your
Really?
spouse owes, I think even your mortgage, everything, because they want to make sure you get exactly the amount that you're supposed to
They
get.
want to know your finances ahead of time to set your exemptions.
Right.
Interesting.
There's no longer the little
You can't
where,
just,
where
I'm
you
gonna claim
put a number at the
0.
bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
That's
Yeah.
always been there. It's on the back page. It was an option.
This is a lot spookier.
Yeah, it's different. It's very different than the last page of the
Okay.
old federal.
Any other question for Sarah? Any other announcement? No? Okay. So I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. So thank you very much. See you in 2 months.
I know, next month.
Next month.
February.
Can
so
you-
March